Alright, let's look at another type of trigonometric equation. This is a trig equation that's what we call quadratic in form. So it means that it's not a quadratic equation, but it behaves in the way we solve it is similar to quadratic equations. So what we do is we're going to basically do a variable substitution. Let's say a is the cosine of x. Alright, if that's the case, then I can replace this with a. Alright, and then that's minus 1 equals 0. And then this 2 cosine squared x, remember cosine squared x is the same thing as the cosine squared. So if I square both sides of this equation, I would get a squared equals cosine squared x. So this is just a squared, so I can say that's 2a squared plus a minus 1. Now, if this was my problem, I would just say that's 2a and a, and then outside and inside have to combine to a 1. So I need two, right here, I have to get a 1, so it's going to have to be a 1 and a 1. And then I have to figure out how do I get a plus and a minus in here for it to work out. So if this was 2a minus 1, that would be, or if this was 2a minus 1, a plus 1, I would have 2a squared positive 2a minus a. So 2a minus a is positive a minus 1. So this is the factored form I want. And then if I solve each of these, I have 2a minus 1 equals 0, a plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so once I've got it factored, I just set each factor to equal to 0. This one works out to be 2a equals 1, which means a equals a half. And this one works out to be a equals negative 1. Alright, but we got to remember my equation was an x, so I need to switch back to x. And so what I end up with is two equations for cosine. I get the cosine is equal to a half, or the cosine could be equal to negative 1. I'm sorry, this should be cosine x. So now again, I go back to my unit circle, and I say, alright, where is cosine equal to positive a half, and where is it equal to negative 1? So it's equal to a positive half. Remember, cosine is the x-coordinate. So the x-coordinate is positive a half on the right side of the y-axis, right here and right here. So that's where cosine is equal to a half, and where is it equal to negative 1? It's equal to negative 1 right here at pi. So our solutions are going to look like pi over 3, that gets me to a half. 5 pi over 3 also gets me to a half, and then negative 1 gets me to the, pi gets me to cosine being negative 1. Alright, so this is true. Cosine of x equals a half when x is pi over 3, and when x is a half. 5 pi over 3. Alright, the output, the x-coordinate is a half when on the unit circle, when this x variable in our equation is equal to these two numbers. Okay, and then where is it equal to negative 1? Where's cosine? Where's the x-coordinate negative 1? It's when x is pi. Okay, and again, I can go to Desmos and graph this, or I can plug it into a calculator. If I have this calculator that can handle trig, I can plug in. I'm going to go to make sure I'm in radian mode. So make sure you're in radian for this. I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to plug in the function we have right here. Alright, and then I'm going to go to a table. So second table set, I'm going to tell it to ask me for the inputs. And then I'm going to go to my table. And then I'm going to put in the inputs. I've got pi over 3. So I'll plug that guy in, pi over 3. Alright, and then y should be equal to 0. I'm going to plug in 5 pi over 3. Alright, and then same thing, y should be equal to 0. And then at pi, once again I get 0. If I plug in any other number, if I plugged in, 7 pi, 7 pi over 4, it's just some other random number, I'm not going to get 0. So I'm just wanting you to see that these are the things that are making this original equation true. Alright, now Desmos, if I wanted to do Desmos with this thing, this is the graph we did in the last video. Now I'm going to type in 2 cosine squared. You can type in a little bit different here. X plus cosine x, alright, minus 1. Alright, and I'm going to take this away right here. And I'm going to go back to my settings. I'm going to make it 0 to 2 pi. The y-axis, though, I need it to be, I'm going to go down from -1 to +1 because we're looking at the intercepts. Alright, and then where does it cross? Pi over 3, pi, 5 pi over 3. So there's my 3 solutions. I can see them on here. Desmos does a really good job of showing you these things. And I've got my setting. Still got this pi over 12. I can make it like pi over 6, like a more standard trigonometric step size, and it'll still show me those same values: pi over 3, pi, 5 pi over 3.